Hi, my name is Judy. Welcome to Go With Yin Yoga. If you're new here, I'm so grateful that you're joining us today. And today I have a Yin Yoga practice that's approximately 30 minutes long. I've been known to go a little shorter, a little longer. And it is physically working on our hips, which is an area most of us need work on. And more subtly, it's working on the spleen and stomach meridians. And that helps us to decrease worry, anxiety, nervousness. And I'm going to be real honest with you. Right as I'm filming this, we're having a bit of a family emergency. And I'm in that, hurry up and wait phase. There's really nothing I can do except wait for a call at the moment. So I have a phone with me. If, I end up answering the phone and this video ends up being a little choppy, I apologize, but I'm sure that you will understand. So, props. You will need potentially a couple of blocks. A bolster is nice. It's not necessarily necessary. And I suggest either towels or at least one yoga blanket, maybe two. We will be on our knees for portions of this practice. So go ahead, pause the video, gather up your props, and come join me on your mat. And now that you have what you need, I invite you to take a easy seated position. I am sitting up on a block. I recommend that. You can sit up on the bolster, on some blankets. It just gets your hips above your knees, and it's more comfortable to sit for most people that way. If it's not more comfortable for you to sit that way, you can sit against the wall, you can sit in a chair with your feet on the floor, and you can lay down with your feet on the mat and your knees bent. Whatever feels right in your body. That said, go ahead and come to whichever pose feels easy for you. And in September 2022, we're taking one pose out of every short practice, and we're focusing on the shape and the meaning behind that pose. And I will explain more about that as we get more into it. For now, just begin to notice your breathing. Maybe notice where you are breathing into. Take one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. And notice if you're breathing into your belly or perhaps your chest. Noticing without judgment. If it's comfortable for you, I invite you to close your eyes now. Or just close them partially and let your gaze be unfocused. Let your eyes relax. Smooth out your forehead. Let your tongue fall down to the bottom of your mouth. And let your jaw soften. Relax your shoulders. Maybe begin to feel your spine growing longer. Really rooting down into your seat and growing longer through the crown of your head. And we're going to take 3 bumblebee breaths here. It's a very simple technique, which is very calming. It also helps us to extend the exhale, which is also calming. And it's just inhaling through your nose. And then keeping your lips together, making a humming sound like a bumblebee. So it sounds like this. So join me now. Let's do this 3 times. Inhale through your nose. And make that bumblebee sound. Inhale through your nose, lips together, bumblebee. Last time. Go ahead and bring the palms of your hands to touch in front of your heart. Slightly bow your head over your hands and begin to blink your eyes open, taking in your mat, raising your head. And if you are seated up on something, I invite you to come off of that. If you have a couple blocks, go ahead and grab your blocks now. Come into a tabletop position, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. And on your next inhale, step your left foot forward. You may need to adjust where your blocks are. This is dragon pose. So dragons obviously are not a real creature, but in the Chinese tradition, they are seen as a good luck sign, bringing good fortune. I could use a little of that right now. Good health, bringing all good things into your life. And that is, in fact, our affirmation for this practice. I attract good luck into my life. And you may also want to pad your knee. It's optional. I will be using my blanket in a different pose. Last couple of breaths here. And push into your hands, whether on the blocks or on the mat, to bring your glute back. Slowly drag that left foot back into tabletop position. Curl your toes under, lift your hips towards the sky. I like to have mine pretty far apart, my feet that is. But they can be hip width apart, they can be wherever feels comfortable to you. And just take a few breaths here. And down dog. On your next exhale, go ahead and bend your knees, bring them back to the mat. And let's go to second side. Step your right foot forward. And I'm having to move my blocks forward again. It's one of those days. I'm trying to get your knee over your ankle. Really getting into your hip flexor here. Something that most of us, because of all the sitting that we do, could really use. Last couple of breaths. Really see if you can relax into this pose. And think about a dragon as you're in it. Thinking about bringing good luck into your life, bringing prosperity into your life, good health into your life. And then slowly bring your hips back. Drag that right foot back into tabletop. Curl your toes under. Lift your hips up towards the sky or the ceiling. Coming into down dog. For just a few breaths. And once again, on your next exhale, bring your knees back towards your mat. Go ahead and take the blocks and put them in front of the long end of your mat. And grab your blanket or towels if you have them. And I definitely suggest it for this particular pose, which is frog pose, which is a lot like it sounds. We're going to start out in tadpole. In case you are familiar with frog already, tadpole is just taking your feet together rather than having them on the same plane as your knees, in line with your knees. That's what I'm searching for. Okay, so this is why we have the blanket to pad our knees. We are going to walk those hips out. Knees are bent. Legs are behind us, and we're going to walk our hips out as far as is possible. Always have the option to just bring your hands to the blocks if this is enough for you. And as I said, you can bring your feet into touch. That's tadpole. It's a little easier to start with. Or you can have your ankles in line with your knees. I need to push these blocks up. You always have to play with the positioning and come down onto the blocks. Bend your elbows, come down onto the blocks. Always have the option to come all the way to the mat. But it is a pretty intense stretch. So in this case, I think you can really see why this pose is called frog. We're splooting. It's a new word I learned recently. The shape with the frog's legs behind them. And, you know, dogs do it too. My dog does it. It's called a sploot. S-P-L-O-O-T. And as much as you can, see if you can relax your leg muscles. Generally, the more we relax, the deeper we can go. And the last few breaths here. And the last breath. Go ahead, take your hands, your elbows, your arms off of those blocks. Bring the feet into touch, and then very slowly and gently take your knees towards each other. And you can go ahead and come off of that blanket. You may want to keep it. Take your feet out to the side. Slowly lower down onto your back. Inhale, bring your knees in towards your chest. And just compress a little bit where we've been lengthening. Take a few breaths here. And take your hands a little bit below your knees and then just begin to circle them around. As if you have a pencil between your knees and you're drawing circles on the ceiling. Slowly, gently. When we practice yin yoga, our joints can get a little fragile. The blood can get a little stagnant. And a little movement helps to get that blood flowing again, and it nourishes our connective tissue. And go ahead, bring your feet to the mat. Roll over to one side gently, press yourself up. Come into a tabletop position. And then begin to bring your hips down to your heels. You can always take the blanket, you can pad your knees, you can put something underneath your ankles if that's very uncomfortable for you. You can do that and put something between your thighs and your calves. All those things can make you feel a little bit more comfortable. Plus, you can grab a block. I'm not going to use it, but you can put it underneath your forehead. It's very calming. My blocks are just a little too high for that. And go ahead and bring your head down toward your mat. In child's pose. I attract good fortune into my life. And last few breaths here. And last breath. Begin to press into your palms, slowly bringing your head up. Swing your legs out to the side. Bring them in front of you, the soles of the feet to the mat. And slowly come back onto your elbows, all the way onto your back. Stretch one leg out and let the foot fall open, and then the other. Hands come down by your hips. Palms down or palms up, it's your choice. And you can always grab that bolster, put it underneath your knees, or you can grab 2 blocks, put a block under one knee and then the other. And I am going to sit up to hold space for you. And I will let you know when it's time to come out of Shavasana. I attract good luck into my life. And go ahead and allow your breath to begin to deepen. If your eyes aren't already closed, I invite you to close them. And taking a few breaths in and out through your nose. And begin to take any movements that feel right in your body. Perhaps gently moving your head side to side, up and down. Rolling wrists and ankles in one direction, and then another. And your next inhale, stretch your arms long overhead, wiggle a little bit side to side. Feeling the length from the tips of your toes all the way up to the tips of your fingers. Gently pull one knee into your chest, then the other. And gently rock over to one side. Knees are still pulled into chest. Bottom arm is cradling your head. Take a few deep breaths here. And keeping your eyes closed, bring your palms to the mat. Slowly and gently begin to press yourself upright. Take an easy seated position again. Bring the palms of your hands together in front of your heart. Begin to rub your hands together. And then bringing your hands to stillness. Slightly bowing your head over your hands, giving yourself gratitude for giving yourself this time for yourself today, for stepping onto your mat, for practicing some self-care. And slowly begin to blink your eyes open, taking in the rest of the floor. and raising your head. Taking in the rest of the room, or if you're outside, the rest of your surroundings. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Remember, you attract what you think about, and for this practice, we are thinking about good luck, and sometimes you get what you need. I had a little bit of a stressful afternoon here, so this was a nice de-stressing practice, and I hope you found it that way too. If you like this video, please go ahead and click the like button. And if you want to know when more videos are added to this channel, go ahead and click subscribe. Thank you so much for practicing with me today.